predicting the 2026 championship order.
I got Franco Colapinto in dead last.
Oh, okay. Goofy. I have Lindblad. Lindblad. I think he's going to be atrocious. He's dead last for me.
For P22, I also have Arvid Lindblad. Like I said before, he's a rookie. I don't know. I feel like it's going to take him. Hopefully next year he'll have a chance to show what he can do, but I don't think it's going to be this year. For P21, I have Sergio Perez. I feel like the Cadillac, I don't think it's going to be a bad car, but if we're talking about getting points every now and then, like I don't think he's going to have 0 points by the end of the year, but I don't think he's just his confidence from when he was last on. It was just I don't think he's going to be able to get it back just this year.
Interesting. For my P21, I have Bortoleto. Again, like I said earlier, I think that Audi is not great. I don't foresee them being very high up on the list. So, yeah, P21.
I have Pierre Gasly for P21. I'm hating on Alpine this year. No specific reason. I'm not actually hating. I just don't think their car is going to be that good.
I agree.
For P20, I got a Haas driver, Esteban Ocon.
Wow. You think he's going to finish that low?
Interesting.
I do.
Okay. And my
Bro's
P20.
not a good driver.
He's not great, but okay. And
for trying to find something to say.
Yeah, I got nothing. For my P20, I have Colin Pinto. I do agree Alpine's not going to be great. I do think there's definitely some drivers that are going to do worse than him, but I do think he's going to be low. So yeah, P20, Colin Pinto.
For P20, I have Valtteri Bottas. I just feel like the Cadillac, I think it's going to be the worst car on the grid this year. I think you'll see who my close second to worst car, who could honestly be a toss-up, will be. But yeah, I mean, he's been out for a year or two now, and he did not do good the last year he was with Sauber, so that's why I got him at 20. For P19, I have Pierre Gasly. I feel like the Alpine car is going to be bad. There's no excuse for them. I feel like they're in a hole and they're never going to be able to get out of it, to be honest.
It's valid. In my P19, I have Lance Stroll. I don't foresee that Aston Martin being good. I think they are going to be, at the very least, the first few races, comfortably the worst or second worst car. Stroll obviously has his moments where he does good, and I'm sure he'll have a couple races again where he does good, but I do think he will finish very low down the pecking order this year.
Okay. For my P19, I have Lindblad. And the only reason he's not dead last is I do feel like, even though earlier I said he's coming in with like a chip on his shoulder, I think that's going to hurt him than do more good for him. But also I do think it'll help him like on occasion, and enough occasions to put him below the last three drivers I listed off.
That makes sense.
And then for P18, I have Bortoleto.
Yeah, that's fair. That's all you got to say. For P18, for me, same driver, same car. I have Hulkenberg, which pains me to put him this low. I like I said earlier, I love this driver. He's veteran. He knows what he's doing. He's shown great qualifying performances. I think he'll have great quality performances again this year. But that car is just not going to be there to hold him. It's going to be bad. So P18 Hulkenberg.
You're an Audi hater.
Unfortunately.
For P18, I have Franco Colapinto. Same with Gasly. I just think the Alpine's going to be bad. And for P17, I have Lance Stroll. The only reason I'm putting Lance Stroll up to 17 is because I think there is a chance for the Aston to maybe be good, whether it's throughout the season or like toward the end. But honestly, I think Stroll should be out of Formula One. There's a lot of other drivers that should definitely be in his position because I think you'll see where I have Alonso, what says what I think about the Aston.
Mhm. For P17 for me, I have Pierre Gasly. Um, yeah, again, just Alpine's not going to be great. I do think he's going to do better than Colin Pinto again. He has shown a few times that he does have that race pace. He does have the ability. He's won a race, obviously, through some safety car magic at Monza, but it still happened. So maybe he can have one or two really good results, and it'll put him above everybody else.
My P17, Liam Lawson.
Ooh, okay.
I was thinking like maybe since they're using like the same power unit as Red Bull, but also at the same time I was like, nah, probably not. He's like very comfortably sits like pretty low on the standings. Plus, for some reason, it doesn't matter who it is. Whoever's the second seat at Racing Bulls, even though there isn't really one, he like always somehow manages to just barely beat them or be behind them.
Fair.
And then for P16, I have Ollie Behrman. He's pretty good. I think he has a bright future in Formula One, but also at the same time, I think he like just got in, just got comfortable. He finally started getting consistency at the end of the 2025 season, getting better performances, and then boom, regulations changed. Even though the horsepower looks sick, I really don't think it's gonna be that good.
Fair enough.
Looks can be deceiving.
Looks can be deceiving, yeah. In my P16, and another driver that absolutely pains me to put this low, I have Fernando Alonso. I don't want him to be down this far. I just do not have any faith in this Aston Martin. I think the next couple of years, with Adrian Newey, that car will develop. It will get better. Even towards the end of the season, it might be good, but I think it'll be too little, too late. Yeah.
So for my P16, I have Liam Lawson. I feel like he started doing decent toward the end of the year, like when he got into the Cash Up Racing Bulls or whatever it's called. But I don't know. I feel like he's just gonna struggle. Like I think he's gonna show exactly how he performed in the Red Bull when he first came in with the new regulations. I think he's really gonna struggle, and I would say he might be one of the people that, if I had to pick, might be gone by the end of the year. I think he would be near the top of my list. For P15, I have Gabriele Bortoleto. I think the Audi is going to be kind of at the end of the midfield. I don't know. I feel like Audi's, they just got like such a good history in motorsport, and the only reason they came into this year was because of the new regs with like the battery and everything. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't do that if they were going to come in and just be god awful. I definitely think they'll be better than Cadillac and Alpine, just off of their like history in racing and stuff like, and in the fact that they only came in because of the new regs.
Fair. In my P15, I have Sergio Perez. I think the exact opposite of you. I think Cadillac is going to be significantly stronger than Audi, which is the only reason why I'm putting them this high. Obviously, Sergio's driven a couple different vehicles now. For a couple different teams now. He's had some really good success when he was with Racing Point. He's had some really good success when he was with Red Bull. He knows what he's doing. I think he'll have a good season, and I think he will actually outperform the car.
P15, I got Lance Stroll. And then for my P14,
Nothing more to say
Nothing
on
more,
mine.
just P15, fuck this guy. That's valid.
Yeah, P15 Lance Stroll, and then P14 I have Nico Hulkenberg.
Hmm. Yeah, I wish I could have put him that high. I just have no faith in that car. In my P14, I have Esteban Ocon. Definitely the worst of the two Haas drivers. I don't have a lot of faith in him, but I do have a lot of faith in that car. I think there'll be a couple races where Haas is very high up there. I could see some P5, P6 finishes. So I think Haas is going to be a good team this year.
For P14, I also have Esteban Ocon.
Hmm.
I kind of agree on what you said. Like, I feel like he's kind of getting toward the end of his career in Formula One. I mean, I think the Haas car is going to be decent. You can't make a car that looks that good and have it be complete ass. So
Yeah. Fucking
for
Frenchies.
P13, I have Nico Hulkenberg. Kind of the same reason I said before for Bortoletto. I just think, Audi's got the history behind him and stuff, so I think they'll be decent.
Yeah. In my P13, I have Valtteri Bottas. I know it's high for Cadillac, but this is where I think the two of those drivers will be. I think they'll finish around 13th and 15th. They are both good drivers. They've both driven for much better teams. They both have showed that they are able to win races, be a great second driver. I think them working together be a really interesting team dynamic. I think they're going to do good.
All right. For P13 for me, I'm not laughing at you, bro. I'm laughing at myself.
No, I'm going to blow my head off.
No. All right. For my P13, I have the Mexican Minister of Defense, Sergio Perez.
Haven't heard that in
And
a while.
then,
The nickname.
It's my goat.
oh yeah, I don't know. Like, at least whenever, I don't think Cadillac's gonna be that bad. Like, in all honesty, I think out of Audi, Cadillac, and Aston Martin, if any of them are gonna sandbag, I think it would be Cadillac. And also, like, your point on Audi where you said they have like motorsports history, Cadillac also does have history whenever it comes to racing with like the whole battery versus like gas powered
Really
history
good
and
hybrid
stuff like
cars.
that. So I don't really think it's gonna be super far into them. And like testing is still going on. Plus also like I think Cadillac knows they're not in contention for a title of anything at all, like anytime soon. So I think if anything they're just sandbagging against the other midfield teams. I think so. That's why I have Sergio Perez there. And then for my number 12, I have Albon. He's definitely the weaker driver out of the two between him and Sainz. Sainz is still the last Ferrari winner.
Shade.
Albon's a pretty decent driver. He's consistent, but he also has his moments of destruction. So that's why he's number 12 for me.
Fair. My P12, I have Liam Lawson. I actually think he's going to do good in this car. I think that the Racing Bulls, they've stated, has lacks downforce, but lacking downforce is something you can fix over time. I think that car will grow, and he wants to continue to show that he is deserving of a better seat since he was in Red Bull and he was very like, this car sucks to drive. That's the only reason why it's not drivable. And Yuki was in the car and the exact same thing happened to him. So it's obviously more of Verstappen's driving style makes them develop the car a specific way, and then other drivers can't adapt to that. I think Lawson will do good.
For my P12, I have Alex Albon as well. I think the Williams is going to do good this year. I think they'll probably not be as good as they did last year. I think they're just going to be kind of, midfield merchants this year. And then for P11, I have Carlos Sainz for the same reasons I said about Albon. I think the Williams it'll be all right, but it's not going to be anything great. I think they'll consistently get P10s, P9s maybe, a couple higher up than that, but nothing too crazy.
For my P11, I have Ollie Behrman. I think, again, like I said, Haas is a strong team this year. They look like they're going to be good. He's obviously a great driver. He showed himself last year, a couple amazing drives, and I think he'll continue that form.
P11 for me and the other Cadillac driver, Valtteri Bottas. I think the only reason he didn't finish off strong at Kick was because Kick car, and whenever he did start driving for them, it was like kind of whenever the team was like still pretty new. But I mean, whenever we saw him in a pretty decent car, whenever he was Lewis Hamilton's teammate, he did do pretty good. It was kind of just like him versus Sergio Perez behind Hamilton and Verstappen, who were like 40 seconds ahead of the rest of the grid, like every race in 2021, pretty much. So, and then for P10, I have Isaac Hadjar. I feel like I could have probably put him a little bit higher on this list, to be honest. But as much as I want to count McLaren out, because I really don't like McLaren, I do still feel like there's a very real chance for them to retain some success.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the hand movements? I wasn't paying attention.
I did this one.
Oh, okay.
Bruh.
But yeah, no, Isaac Hadjar P10.
In my P10, I have Alex Albon, which I believe is exactly one position lower than he finished last year. I think he was P9. I think Williams will be very similar to last year, maybe a small step forward, but the drivers that are ahead of them, I think, are just still going to be better. Albon's a great driver. Williams is going to be strong. I can easily see them finishing in the points positions.
P10, I have Oliver Bierman. I feel like he's going to come in and do good throughout the year. You know, he's going to get consistent P8 to P10 finishes, just build up a little bit of points every now and then, you know, and just kind of be right there in the middle. I think the Haas car is going to be decent, but nothing too crazy. I could see him maybe getting another top 5 maybe every now and then. We'll have to see. And for P9, I have Isaac Hadjar. I do think that he's going to do pretty good this year with the Red Bull, but I just don't think he's going to be in the top 7 or 8 with the top 4 teams. I think that he'll be at the back of all those drivers.
In my P9, I have Carlos Sainz. I think this will be the year that he does beat Albon. He was close last year, wasn't quite able to do it. Obviously, he had a lot of trying to get comfortable in that car. Going from a Ferrari to a Williams was quite a change for him. He got really adapted to it towards the end of the season, closed up that point gap by a lot, just wasn't quite able to close it all the way. I think this is the year where they're both starting fresh. Sainz will prove that he is the better of the two.
For my P9, I also have Carlos Sainz. Pretty much same thing you just said. Sainz is a better driver than Albon, and at the end of the season, he showed that. It just took him a little while to adapt to the car. Because like you said, they're like two polar opposite driving styles. Yeah. And the Ferrari's also just ass, so you have to unlearn all the bad habits from the Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's when he got his last win.
True.
For my P8, I have Lewis Hamilton.
What?
He's kind of low, to be honest, but I don't know, bro. Unk needs to retire.
Unk needs to retire.
You don't,
buddy.
Yeah,
my P22, I have Max Verstappen.
I don't know. I just don't think Hamilton has the wheel anymore, unfortunately.
In my P8, I have Isaac Hadjar. I think he'll do good. I think the Red Bull is still going to be a little bit better than the Williams. I think it'll actually be close in some of these races. I can easily see Carlos or Albon beating Hadjar in a lot of these races, maybe even beating Antonelli in some of these races. I think it'll actually be a really close battle between him and Sainz. I think towards the end of the season, they'll probably be within one or like 10 points, somewhere in there.
My P8 is going to be Fernando Alonso.
Oh wow.
I think Fernando is going to kind of be Verstappen-esque with the Aston. I think this is like kind of like a make or break year for him, whether he retires or not. So I could see him pushing that car to where it should not be, as he's done many times before, and I think he'll get a good amount of points every single race.
Hmm.
For my P7, I have Lewis Hamilton. I felt like Lewis, it's 50-50 whether he's going to have like a really good season or just it might be like his final season. I think last year he almost had it with Ferrari. I think they drove him insane, and I think like if they do it again this year, it might be his last. But I kind of hope not to see him down here in seventh. Honestly, I hope to see him higher, but I just have a feeling that it's not going to be too great for him.
Mhm. In my P7, I have Kimi Antonelli. I think the Mercedes is going to be the car to beat still. I just think he's going to have a lot of bad luck this year. I think he's going to be pushing a little bit too hard. He's going to be making some dumb moves because he knows that the car should be better. He knows he should be up in higher positions. He's going to be making some silly dive bombs and collisions and random damage here or there. Some not of his own causing, but yeah, I think he'll be pretty far down the order this year.
You're just saying that because he crashed his car?
Yes. Actually, P7's where he finished last year. I think he's going to finish in the exact same position he finished last year, despite having a much better vehicle.
My P7, I have Lando Norris.
Damn.
That's blasphemy.
I was like between Lando Norris or Piastri, but
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is Piastri's stronger than Norris on like almost every track besides like the last like 4 that we saw. Well, that
And
last
Canada. Oh wait.
that last like little stretch of races, unfortunately, like Piastri's just unfortunately not that good at. However, I still think it'll be enough for Piastri to be above Norris, but only by one position because for P6 I have Oscar Piastri.
Mm. Okay.
Boo.
Similarly, I have P6 Lando Norris. I love both McLaren drivers. McLaren is definitely my number 2 team. If I had to pick one. Great history, great team. I'm just really worried that they're going to be down there like that. Yeah. So P6 Lando Norris.
For P6, I have Charles Leclerc. I feel like the Ferrari, they're going to be, stacked on top of each other. I think they were last year 5 and 6, so I think they're going to drop down a little bit. But I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. Like, I feel like the Ferrari could be really good this year too. So I don't know. I'm just going off vibes. For P5, I have Kimi Antonelli. I do think Kimi's going to have a really good year, but I feel like he's going to make a couple mistakes that is going to cost him a decent amount of points overall. And my top 4, I feel like, are going to be a lot more consistent. But I think Kimi's definitely going to have a lot better year. Last year he finished 7th. I think he's going to move up 2 places and break into the top 5.
In my P5, I have Oscar Piastri. Again, love McLaren, love both the drivers. I just think the other 4 that I have above them are going to simply do better, outperform them.
Number 5, Fernando Alonso.
Damn.
That's all I'm gonna say, man.
All right.
I would like to see it. I hope he has a
What's
really
gonna
good year.
happen? I already put my entire life savings of like $56.62 on it. So
I was going to
it's a
say
$10,000 return if it happens. Anyway, besides that, number 4, I have Charles Leclerc.
Mm.
I think at this point in both of the Ferrari drivers' careers, Charles been there longer. It's only Hamilton's second year. And like I said earlier, I just don't think Hamilton has wheel anymore. And I still think, like, even when the Ferrari last year was terrible, he still, like, maximized the most out of his car, especially whenever it was, like, wheel to wheel. Even though he didn't have the best car, he was still able to, like, make his car wide where it needed to be. And he's very smart with, like, playing the DRS game, which obviously that's gone, but I still think a lot of that like overall like back of the hand knowledge will transfer over to the battery deployment system.
I like that. In my P4, I have Max Verstappen. I don't think he'll be in the top three. Like I said earlier, I really don't think he will. I foresee him still putting up a fight. Maybe the first. It's either going to be the first 5 races he'll be competitive, and then everything else will drop off, or it'll be the last 5 races and he'll climb back up. But he's not going to be in the top 3.
My blood is boiling.
I feel like putting Max outside the top 3 is just crazy.
It is, and it's going to happen.
For P4, I have Lando Norris. I definitely think Lando's going to take a step back this year. He's going to drop out of the top 3. Yeah. It sucks. Since I'm a big McLaren fan, I don't want to see it, but it's going to happen.
No loyalty.
For P3, I have Oscar Piastri. Kind of the same reasons for Norris, but I think he's going to do a little bit better than Norris. Obviously, he finished 3rd last year, so I think he'll probably compete a little more for the driver champ, but I think he'll kind of have like a Russell situation with him toward the end where it's kind of mathematically impossible for him to actually do it. But I think he'll stay in till, the last 5 or 4 races.
In my P3, Lewis Hamilton. I think the Ferrari is going to be strong. I do think that the other Ferrari driver is going to be ahead of him still, but I think this is going to be a really good return to form. I think he will finally get his first podiums with Ferrari. I think he'll win a race this year with Ferrari. I think this will be a great comeback.
The curse is broken.
The curse is broken.
Curse is staying, and that's why for my P3 I have Kimi Antonelli. He's going to get his first race win this year. Even though he is a rookie, I don't know, I don't think he was the best rookie on the grid last year, only due to the fact that it wasn't a fair comparison due to the fact that he was in a Mercedes compared to the other rookies who were in like Alpines, kit cars, a Haas, Racing Bulls. So that for that reason, he's definitely not going to win. Like, if anything, I have Russell P2 as well. But I think Russell is going to be like comfortably ahead of Antonelli in the standings. So
that's fair. For my P2, I have Charles Leclerc. I think it will be a Ferrari 2-3. I think it could potentially be close between P1 and P2. But I think towards the end of it, the number 1 driver is going to pull away.
P2, I have Max Verstappen. Now, I do think, and I did have this as one of my options in the wild prediction, that the Drivers' Championship is going to go to the final race. And I do think it's going to be between Max and who I have in first, who is obviously George Russell. I think George Russell is going to do it this year. Last year, he showed that he can be very consistent throughout the season. I think if he has the car under him, I think he can consistently finish top 5, top 3, winning. And I think it's going to be very close between him and Max. I could see another situation coming down as the Hamilton Verstappen fight But yeah, my 2026 Drivers' Championship is George Russell.
Yeah. Likewise, my number one driver is going to be George Russell. Again, I think he's going to win it. Like I just said, it will either be very close. I think it could be come down to the last couple of races between him and Leclerc. I think Ferrari is going to be strong, or it'll be complete dominance. It's either going to be very close or not close at all. There's not really going to be an in between. Um, yeah, Russell has shown incredible consistency last year. He was on the podium more times than any other driver, aside from obviously the ones that won. Um, it was impressive to see, considering the year before that he made a lot of silly mistakes. So I think this is going to be his year.
I'm a D1 Glazer. I have not only the 2023 car on my left ass cheek tattooed, but Max Verstappen's face with devil horns on my right ass cheek tattooed. So I got him taking it all. He's my driver's champ this year.
Taking it all just like you wish you could do with him.
I
Even
would
that
love
in.
to take all of the MV 33 inches. All right.
Leaving that in. I'm absolutely leaving that in.